Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has been accused of wanting to microchip the world's population through global vaccination programs. You've been microchipped, Blank?
Yeah, because it's really funny because I know the meaning of microchips, but my English is my second language. So when I heard microchip, I was thinking like literally. I just feel sounds delicious. Yeah, of course, you're British. You love fish and chips so much. Microchips in your blood.
Hello! Welcome to Believe. I'm Phil Green.
And I'm David Ferguson.
And this is a podcast all about the world's craziest myths, mysteries, and conspiracies, isn't it?
It is, because we've opened it out. It's not just conspiracy theories anymore. We're through the looking glass, people.
That's right. Everything that David believes and everything that I don't, we're going to discuss on this motherfucking podcast. And you've joined us for it, you lucky, lucky people. If you would like to follow us on social media, they can't they?
Oh my gosh, yes. And we'd love you to do that. You can follow us on Believe Pod, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And we've also got Blue Sky.
Yes, that's right. We're now on Blue Sky, where the kids are, we imagine. We don't really know. No. It's where you could DM us. You could tell us what conspiracies you want us to cover. You could tell us about the conspiracies we have already covered. What do you believe? What don't you believe? What do you think? Tell us your opinion. We want to know. You could also email us at believeconspiracypod@gmail.com. And if they want extra episodes of this podcast every week, how can they get those?
Oh my gosh, we have a Patreon.
Oh my God, you can join our Patreon. It is just £5 a month, and every week you will get an extra goddamn episode. Most of our live episodes will now be on our Patreon. You'll also get early access to our main episodes and ad-free listening. We'll have former guests back to try and solve some of the world's craziest stuff, and they'll be helping us make the podcast, won't they?
Oh my gosh, you'll be helping us for the price of a coffee for one of us. I mean, my order in Starbucks is more expensive than this.
That's actually true. So please join our Patreon if you can. It's helping us make the podcast. We need a little bit of support because we're doing this all on our own, and it's very expensive to make a podcast.
It's very expensive.
But we will continue to make sure that you get the answers to the questions that you need, and you lucky people that join up our Patreon will get those extra episodes. So I'm also doing some previews of my latest stand-up show. If you would like to come and see that, you can. I will be in Weston-super-Mare on the 22nd of March. I will be in Glasgow on the 29th of March. On the 11th of April, I'll be at 21 Soho in London. On the 2nd of May, I'll be in Southampton. And at the end of May, I'll be in Brighton. And then on the 11th of June, David and I will be doing a double header at the Bedford in Balham, London. So please, if you'd like to come along to any of those, you'll find a link in the bio, or go on to philgreencomedy.com and there's a link there as well. Now, George is here.
Ah, the wonderful George.
You put new batteries in him?
Oh, we put new batteries in him, and he's just buzzing.
He's buzzing and ready to go. And who is today's fabulous guest?
Blank Peng.
Oh, the amazing Blank Peng. Blank is a bilingual stand-up. She started performing stand-up in Mandarin and began performing in English after coming to the UK. In just a year, she became the first female winner of Top Secret Comedy Gong, King Gong Rising Star New Act Competition. She was a finalist in the Leicester Square New Act of the Year and West End New Act of the Year as well. And what was the conspiracy that Blank chose?
Big Pharma is hiding cures.
Big Pharma's hiding cures?
Profit over people.
Good God. Let's bring on Blank.
Get out of the rabbit hole.
It's a fake. Every single bird in the sky is a robot.
It's fiction.
Doubt your government.
Trying to brainwash you.
It's an urban legend.
Like if they're actually spraying something in the sky.
No way.
A stream of absurdity.
It's a total fabrication.
Welcome to the podcast, Blank Peng! Yay! How are you, Blank?
I'm okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, before we came on, we've just been discussing the fact that you and Dave both have big heads, and I have a tiny, tiny napper.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, yeah. Is this a cultural thing?
Yeah. It's the big Irish head is a genuine thing. It's been scientifically researched, and the Irish have bigger heads proportionally than the rest of the world.
Okay.
You
Is
know,
it a cultural thing for you?
I think it's more Asian gene. Like most Asian babies, they have a massive head. Yeah, and bad for their mom's vagina. I genuinely don't think this is what we should start at the beginning of the show.
No, I think this is
but it's scientifically
we like to
ethical.
start with vagina as early as possible.
Oh,
Blank.
absolutely.
It's a classic opening. That's what we said. Season 3, we need more vag talk.
Oh
So,
my gosh, yeah.
good.
Because I don't get enough of it.
Did you look like an alien as a baby, like massive head?
Yeah, I think just slightly like the also like the head shape. Also, we have very flat the back of the head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of look ugly.
You got
You're gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right now it's okay. As a baby or Asian baby, disgusting. Really, that's the reason why Asia has less pedophile.
Vag and paedophilia within the first 2 minutes of the show.
I genuinely didn't expect that.
I know, and I was so glad you came on.
Wow,
We thought
wonderful.
we'd pick a serious subject. Blank will take it seriously, and we'll look at the way we've opened.
Oh, wow.
Okay. How long have you lived over here for now?
Like 3 years.
3 years. Okay. And did you live anywhere else in between?
Just North London. Haringey area. Very cheap.
Very cheap.
Yeah.
Okay.
And dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Haringey is,
Yeah.
And then moved to Wood Green.
Yeah.
Okay. How have you found that transition?
Wood Green is in North London.
It is also North London. I know.
It's in
Yeah.
Haringey.
Yeah.
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 Well, here's an interesting factoid about Wood Green. It was the first Marks and Spencer.
Was it really?
Yeah, that's where the first Marks and Spencer was.
Really? But right now, I don't find any Marks Spencers in.
No,
Wood
they
Green.
they closed it about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And that was a really big. They closed the Wood Green Marks and Spencer, but that was where they started.
Are they de-gentrifying?
Somewhere has to.
And how have you found? So, did you perform comedy before you were here?
Yeah. When I was in China, I did 1 year in Mandarin.
Did you?
Yeah.
How was that?
Fantastic.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really?
No. There's a camera over there, so yeah, fantastic.
Oh, yeah, of course they're watching. But did you find it harder to do comedy in Mandarin?
Not really. It's my mother language, so definitely easier for me to speak and express my idea.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of what they got, the way it went.
You mean
over.
government? Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, exactly. It's fine. I don't think they will listen to this podcast.
But I don't think you realize how big this podcast is, Blake.
Of course.
You're
of course.
under it. We're in season 3 now, mate. This is
They're all listening.
Yeah, this is global.
Yeah.
Okay, so but do you prefer doing comedy in England?
Not really. I mean, okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's such an honor to do this podcast.
This is your dream.
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. Good. I'm so glad we can fulfill it for you. Conspiracies. How do you feel about them?
I think it's like white thing. So white. Nobody care about that.
Is it a thing like it's a conspiracy is a thing where you're from?
Yeah.
They are.
Oh, we have definitely. Yeah.
But, do you think it's a bigger problem over here, or
I think it's definitely bigger here.
Yeah.
Among the white people.
why do you think? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think our Asians are more like practical.
Yeah.
Like we consume the things day to day in our daily life. We don't discuss about the celebrities, the vampire, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Okay, they just don't care as much.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right. Fair enough. I mean, that's probably a good way to be in a way, right?
Yeah, just getting on with life. I worry about everything.
Do you find British people weirder then for that reason?
No, I don't find many people I know believe in the conspiracy theory.
That's because you mostly know comedians.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
see
Yeah.
straight through all that nonsense apart
Yeah.
from this one here.
Oh.
Yeah.
I choose to believe I see things for what they are, and you are the ones that are delusional.
Uh-huh.
I do.
Okay. Why do you think Blank
Yes.
conspiracies have taken off so much in the last few years? Why do you think it's become such a big thing?
I think I don't know, like maybe there's a new conspiracy theory, just people just believing that, a new religion.
Yeah?
Maybe the old religion, people lose faith to the religion, and this is kind of a modern kind of new belief,
Yeah.
I feel.
Because people, we've just said this before on the podcast, people want something to believe in.
Yes.
So if they're not following one thing, they'll just follow something else. If it's not a religion or a football team, it's like, well, who can lead me? Who can tell me how make sense of the world for me, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, about 10 years ago, there was the new atheist movement. Well, actually, a bit more than 10 years ago. Christopher Hitchens was part of that, and that was really like, get rid of God. There is no God. There is no God. And
You religious, Blank?
No.
and now it's.
Do you think God is like the most earliest conspiracy theory?
Oh, we so should have done that. Is God real?
Is God real?
Imagine the algorithm.
Oh my gosh, that is great. You see, I can argue the biblical point of view because I grew up in Northern Ireland where we're very Christian, and so I know the Bible, and that's why it was so much fun during the New Atheist movement because I was able to quote Bible scripture at people and go, well, actually, but now
You were that prick.
Well, we would get, especially fundamentalist American Christians going, well, the King James Bible's the best Bible. And going, oh my God, it just isn't. And it's not even a really good translation. But they would quote things at me and I'd go, well, actually, this is, because I did have that moment of being deeply Christian for a very long time. And I've read the Bible, I've read the Quran, I've read the Talmud and all that because,
Were you religious growing up, Blank?
No.
No.
Like most of the Chinese, we are like have no religion.
Is it not Shintoism in China?
Sorry?
Shintoism? No.
What? That is we are being officially defining as a cult. Yeah.
I mean, I genuinely don't know, but I thought,
yeah, that's most of, like 99% of the Chinese think they are definitely fake. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it's just like common sense values then.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You are now making a lot more sense to me, Blank. I feel like the way that you see the world is making more sense to me.
Yeah, we are rational.
Yeah. Okay, so this conspiracy, health authorities are hiding natural cures. The notion that health authorities and pharmaceutical companies are deliberately concealing natural cures for diseases has been a long-standing theory among skeptics and alternative health advocates. This belief suggests that the financial incentives drive major health organizations to suppress effective, inexpensive natural remedies in favor of profit-generating pharmaceutical treatments. Have you ever suspected that pharmaceutical companies might be doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I think this is true. I don't feel this is a kind of conspiracy. I think quite reasonable and yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, you're right, because there are actual cases where this has been proven to be the case.
Yeah.
I think it's more the extent to which it's proved to be the case. I think the fact that this has happened in the past kind of feeds into a wider conspiracy that people there is a large contingent of people that think this is happening, maybe a lot more than it is. I don't know, or maybe it is happening widely. That's kind of what we're trying to figure out. What do you think?
Well, I mean, full disclosure, I take a shit ton of medication, so I am part of the beast. But that said, I mean, profit before people is a thing. Like Luigi wasn't wrong. Maybe he shouldn't have done what he did, but do you know what I mean by Luigi?
No.
Luigi shot the CEO of the healthcare
Oh,
company.
yes, sorry. Okay, right.
Oh,
You're a comedian. Come on.
Oh my gosh! Like
Follow the news, man.
But he's also straight, and as a gay man, I know Luigi. Oh, he's so pretty. He's so pretty. Free Luigi.
Was, a good-looking man. That did get brought to my attention.
Yeah, and
by the gay community.
Oh my God, yeah. And the CG, it was the first time I ever saw AI. Well, it wasn't porn, but there was a picture of him in front of the Statue of Liberty, where it got on him, and he takes his top off, and he's got a perfect body, and it's just like, oh my God. Free the boy. He did no wrong. He killed a drunk driver, so fuck drunk drivers.
Do you think it's all right if you're pretty?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Blank?
Pretty people can do
Yeah,
anything.
pretty. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, at least we've established that. Okay, but so generally then we do think this happens.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's the extent to which we think this happens. So the basis of the theory, proponents of this theory argue that pharmaceutical companies, in collaboration with government health agencies, prioritize profit over public health. The pharmaceutical industry generates billions of dollars annually, largely through the sale of patented medications. Natural remedies, which can often be patented, pose a financial threat to these businesses. Thus, some believe that there is a concerted effort to discredit or even suppress research on alternative treatments. Historically, some natural remedies have shown promise in treating diseases. For instance, certain plant-based compounds have been found to have anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and anti-cancer properties. Despite this, proponents argue that the regulatory agencies focus on synthetic drugs, potentially sidelining natural alternatives. You're drinking some herbal tea?
Yeah, just some tea.
Just tea?
Honestly, just Chinese tea.
Just Chinese tea?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a fan of natural remedies?
No, really. I think the reason is because I'm young,
Yeah.
so I'm healthy.
Yeah. Okay.
That'll fade eventually.
Yeah, I don't need anything. So
Yeah. In contrast, you take a lot of medication.
I take a lot of
Have you
medication.
tried alternative?
Yes. So I mean, it's not really. One of the things that has really, really helped me is just walking. I make a point of walking, and it takes a lot out of me, but it has definitely helped. And every time that you move, your muscles create the chemistry that your body needs to be healthy. Anytime you do physical activity, so the more active you are, the healthier you're going to be. Broadly speaking. But I take medication for because I'm mental. You know this. He has to put up with an awful lot. Blank. It's awful. But it has helped me. I mean, like 9 years ago, I was homeless because I went mental. And
But we wouldn't have a podcast if you weren't a bit mental.
Yes, yes.
That is the whole premise of this.
Yes, but like, I mean, the thing that I was sort of very interested in was how much we were against THC, the cannabis, but how that has really helped people. In terms of like ME and just a number of problems, and thankfully we're sort of moving towards that. But I mean, what else has been repressed? And I mean, I kind of want cancer not to exist anymore. Can we just get rid of cancer?
I think
surely we're scientific.
I don't think you're
enough.
alone in that.
Yeah, I know, bold statement. I want cancer to fuck off. So do they not have the cure for cancer? Seriously. Come on now.
Would you both take a natural remedy over synthetic drugs? If you had an ailment, you had a treatment, you needed something, would you try that first, or would you always go to what you knew was proven medically?
I think I would go the proven
Yeah.
bit.
I like science.
Yeah.
And also with like proven medical stuff. If if it is experimental on some level, I might get superpowers from it. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, I'm overdue getting my superpowers.
We all are.
Yeah.
Blank, any superpowers?
Yeah. Sorry?
You got any superpowers?
No.
You're a multilinguist. That's a superpower.
Okay. for English people.
So instances of medical suppression. While full-scale suppression of natural cures may not be supported by strong evidence, there have been instances where scientific discoveries have been downplayed due to financial interests. Some whistleblowers in the pharmaceutical industry have exposed cases where drug companies have hidden negative trial results or influenced medical research. This has led to skepticism about the motives of major health organizations. There have been multiple instances in history where financial and political interests influence medical research, potentially suppressing beneficial treatments. While these cases do not necessarily prove a widespread conspiracy to hide natural cures, they highlight systemic issues within the pharmaceutical and healthcare industries. Do you trust Big Pharma?
Not really.
Okay, but you'd still take their drugs.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's only choice. We have no choice.
That's the problem, isn't it? That is the only choice.
Yeah.
If you want to survive, you want to not be mental, you've got to take these things.
Yeah.
I really wish that the medication that I take didn't. No, it's not true. I do. I'm glad that it works. But once I started taking it and it worked, I was like, oh God, they got me. And there are side effects, and there's side effects I have to deal with it on a daily basis. What I'm saying is I'm a hero. But I mean, it's made such a difference in my life, So there are really good things about the medical industry, but Big Pharma is about money, and it is about the bottom line, and I mean, you hear horror stories, especially from the United States, of someone not being able to afford their insulin and stuff. Insulin is not an expensive thing to make, and people are dying because they can't get it. And it's like, what? Mm-hmm. Do what they did with the COVID vaccine jab. Just make it free.
Yeah.
It's not, giving it.
Or people who think the COVID vaccine was a hoax.
Yes, but we cannot talk about that because we'll get this episode banned.
That is actually true.
Yeah.
So
RFK.
So do you want to know some incidents of when people believe that this information has been suppressed? So there was the earliest case I could find was a case of a Dr. Royal Rife and cancer treatment. So Dr. Royal Raymond Rife, an American scientist, claimed to have developed a device in the 1930s that could destroy cancer cells using electromagnetic frequencies. According to reports, his research initially showed promising results, but his work was later discredited and his equipment was allegedly destroyed. Some believe that pharmaceutical companies and regulatory agencies suppressed his findings because they posed a threat to conventional cancer treatments like chemotherapy. If they wasn't them who were destroying his equipment, who else would? Do you know what I mean? Unless it was like a rival scientist or something.
I mean, it could be just he got a loan from someone to create the I don't know this, but to create the device, and he didn't pay it back in time, so they're like, well, you're not going to have it anymore. Like, you never know. The idea that there was a cure for cancer that wasn't as lucrative in the 30s, that wasn't as lucrative as what became chemotherapy. That makes sense, again, looking at the United States, the reason that there's such bad public transport there was to promote the automotive companies. We've all seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's what that's about.
He makes some leaps, Blank. I won't lie.
but Who Framed Roger Rabbit is all about getting rid of public transport. That's what the movie's about. Even though it does have Bob Hoskins, oh my God, he's so sexy. Anyway, I didn't think that as a kid, but now. Anyway, my point is there are forces that will do terrible things to create better money for themselves. The cigarette industry, nicotine.
Yeah.
You know, like you had doctors promoting that. The Flintstones had their favorite cigarette.
Yep.
You know, it's only now that we're like, oh, cigarettes are bad. I miss cigarettes.
Have you ever smoked, Blank?
So
No.
that's why I don't.
No. But I think you're of a generation that don't generally, though. Like, it's a much more health conscious generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you vape?
No,
Good.
I don't even also drink.
Neither do I.
I know.
You are literally the healthiest comedian I've ever met.
I just wake up.
Well, and you raw dog it. You
Yeah.
just take reality as it
And
is.
literally today, you woke up and the first time you spoke to humans was now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's us.
And it's
I'm
the
so
evening,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. The least choice is I have some Chinese tea to make me healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no wonder you do so many gigs. You just got the energy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Save the energy for the gate only.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so the suppression of latril. Okay.
You're English.
Yeah. Thanks, Blank. Vitamin B17 as a cancer treatment. So this is a compound derived from apricot seeds, was promoted as an alternative cancer treatment in the 1970s. Advocates, including biochemist Dr. Ernest Krebs, argue that it had powerful anti-cancer properties. However, the FDA and American Medical Association discredited him as ineffective and potentially dangerous, banning its use in the United States. Some believe the opposition was driven by financial interest in chemotherapy and pharmaceutical cancer treatments rather than scientific evidence alone. It's difficult with these, though, isn't it? Because this is a health authority, and you expect them to be impartial and balanced on these things. But we do also know, because there are further cases of this, and we're going to come to the Purdue Pharma thing, where you realise there have been corporate interests within the health organisation. So this could go back as far as the 70s as well, right? If there's someone on the board that's influencing this, essentially it got shut down, discredited.
Yeah, because it's all about money. It can also be about ego.
Ego.
Yeah, ego. Like
Self.
I'm the person that discovered this or whatever, you know, and it's the best ever. I mean, a really good example of that is Tesla, and oh my God, am I blanking on who?
Musk.
No.
You mean
discovered electricity?
Yes.
Edison.
Thanks,
Thank you, George. George the rest. So Edison ran all over Tesla, even though Tesla had the better idea around electricity, but Edison was a bad guy.
Isn't that in? It's not The Illusionist. What's the film where they're both in?
Oh, Prestige.
Yeah, The Prestige. Yeah.
Yeah, with David Bowie.
War of the Scientists. But there is an element of that in history, isn't there? Like, essentially men in positions of power in their particular field trying to outdo each other and discredit each other's work. That could be a reason why sometimes better medical cures do not come to the forefront as a result of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It depends on who you know, how much influence you have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would you
it's
reckon,
like
Blank?
Toxic masculinity.
Yes.
Of course, yeah. But generally, I don't think like in the cancer case, I don't think they will hide the cure. I think cause the big farmers, they will some of them will get cancer eventually, and they need this kind of cure to cure themselves.
Yes.
So I think if they have this kind of cure, I think they will be happy to have more people as the first bunch of people to test whether it's safe or not.
You make a very good point there.
Yeah, but for the less dangerous disease like diabetes, high pressure, something like that, which you just need medicine all the time. Those kind of case, I think they will control the cure to save that eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the cancer case, I think maybe they just not very make this in a very high.
I see what you
urgent
mean. If
order.
it's life-threatening,
Yes.
then they're less likely to suppress it because they or their family may need it at some point, and they want to know that thousands or millions of people have had this treatment tested before they do it. Yeah. Good point, Blank. This is that Chinese. This is that rationale just kicking in now.
Yeah, practical.
Yeah. So the tobacco industry's cover-up and smoking risk, like you were saying, David. For decades, tobacco companies funded misleading research to downplay the health risks of smoking. Despite strong evidence linking cigarettes to lung cancer and other diseases, the industry successfully suppressed studies that manipulated public perception through advertising and lobbying. This is a well-documented example of financial interests overriding public health. So this is quite well known, isn't it? That I think back in the 60s in particular, the 50s and 60s, smoking was encouraged as good for your health almost, wasn't it?
Helped regulate you if you're asthmatic.
Yeah.
And cigarettes that were more, help with your voice and stuff like that was what they were all sold for. You know, help keep you thin. Like that's why you always see the golden age of Hollywood. You know, even Marilyn Monroe smoked. You know, it was everybody.
Toxic masculinity again.
Oh no! Betty Davis looks amazing with a cigarette. I mean, but it was just the thing that you did. Everybody smoked. Everybody, you know. I remember as a very small kid being on the bus and everyone's smoking, and you get into school and your blazer, you know, your uniform would stink, and it was awful. I mean, and
Everybody drink here. Is that the same thing?
oh yeah, but that's just because it's the weather.
It's very cold.
You know, and so many of us are from alcoholic families, so do you know what I mean? So I don't drink, but everybody would smoke. Even and Superman fought a bad guy called Nicotine on TV.
Did he?
Yeah, Nicotine. He's my favorite Superman villain.
Oh.
Yeah, it was only for health adverts. Nicotine, get it?
I get you.
He had a big cigarette and as a hat. It was awesome.
So do we think vaping is like the modern equivalent of this? Because right now, companies that make vapes essentially push it as a healthy alternative to smoking, but we don't know what the long-term effects are, right?
Yeah.
Popcorn lung.
What?
Popcorn lung.
Okay.
So vapes, they create a condition called popcorn lung, is where everything in your lungs just your lungs stop having any flexibility, so you can't breathe. And like vapes aren't healthy.
Blank, any suspicion about vaping?
No, I think that's such a pussy thing to do. Sorry, I don't want to be vulgar, but that's the only thing.
But it's true. It's true.
It's true.
Just drink a fruity tea. What did you have a candy? Like,
Yeah, but it's less cool.
yeah.
But, no, but is
That
vaping
is not cool.
Is vaping considered cool?
No.
I don't know, because I guess if all your friends are doing it, but what I want to know is who started that, right? Because when we were at school, this is a very long time. Okay,
Yeah.
When we were at school,
50 years ago?
yeah, 50 years ago.
It hurts because it's
Yeah,
true.
Just had a
Oh.
birthday. Smoking was cool. You didn't really smoke because you
Yeah.
like smoking. You smoked because Danny Zucker in Greece smoked, and he looked cool doing it. And like
Yeah.
you said, Marilyn Monroe, the movie stars
Everybody
smoked. Yeah, everybody smoked. So it was a cool thing to do. No one actually liked smoking or enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I think vaping is just the equivalent of that. But I think it doesn't look as cool though, right?
No.
Looks such ugly and just humiliating.
Yeah.
And you smell fruity and not in a good way. It's I don't understand it. But it's all getting banned. The fruit flavored ones.
They're getting rid of the disposable ones. Aren't
Yeah, and that's the main.
Oh, yeah, the
impetus for it.
flavored one is banned in China.
they? Is it?
Yeah. China only allowed the non-flavored one. Yeah. Yeah,
boy.
it's
So-
illegal.
Do people vape a lot in China?
No.
Oh, really?
It's young people thing. Young people think it's cool because we don't really like cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So-
smoking's not a big thing either.
No. Yes, for the elder age,
Yeah,
elder generation, your generation.
Yeah. We need to stop getting young people on. I've told you this.
What are you talking about? I'm 34.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think so. It is peer pressure. It is like influences, isn't it? And I guess if you're not seeing as many kids on TV, people on TV, because people act when you see programs and movies, people aren't vaping as much as we watch people smoking on TV.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you don't really see it at all.
No.
You know, it's not even a plot point anymore. You know, like the very famously Betty Davis and a plot point in her movie Now Voyager is she shares a cigarette with her lover, Paul Henreid, and it's beautiful. You know,
Okay.
they have a cigarette on it. The close of the movie is them sharing a cigarette, and it's beautiful. It's a black and white movie. I realize I sound antiquated, but it's a classic and it's wonderful. But now no one smokes.
it also looks cooler in black and white. As well.
Oh my god! Yeah, and you're in a smoke, and like Marlene Dietrich is beautiful, and she's got a cigarette with her. Like, I'm sorry, it's true. But vapes never
Blank's
had
like,
that.
I've never seen a black and white film.
Yeah, of course. What is black and white? I don't see color. Sorry. Yeah.
So the opioid crisis and Purdue Pharma. So this is quite a well-known one, particularly in the last few years. I don't know if you guys have watched the dramatizations of this. There's been multiple ones. But while not a case of suppressing natural cures, the opioid crisis illustrates how pharmaceutical companies can manipulate research and regulatory agencies for financial gain. Purdue Pharma, the manufacturer of OxyContin, aggressively marketed opioids while downplaying their addictive nature. This led to a public health crisis, demonstrating how profit-driven motives can influence medical decision-making at the highest levels. So this is an example of where they had people in the FDA who were essentially approving their drugs and just
Addictive.
without much evidence at all, if any, to be quite honest. So they were almost regulating themselves, and they knew it was highly addictive, and they were upping doses and making it more, make it easy to access, but also making the higher doses more expensive and all that sort of stuff. And I think this is probably the most famous case in recent years. Have you watched the I think it's Dope Sick, I think.
Yes.
Is that the one? Yeah, with Michael Keaton. It's a really good. It's on Disney Plus or Netflix, one of them.
Disney Plus, what's that?
Yeah, well,
I mean, I didn't watch that, but I remember what British Empire did to China in the past.
The Opium Wars.
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking as an Irishman, yes, the British are terrible.
yeah.
I apologise for everything my country's ever done. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, it does go back a long way. I'm sitting there going, aren't the Americans terrible? And Black's just firing shots. But yeah, I mean, this is that addiction. Going back to that though, was the reason for that crisis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get a population addicted to something.
Yeah.
You've got a major problem, and this is still an issue now in the States, right? This addiction hasn't gone away. Yeah, Purdue Pharma got fined for this. I don't think anyone actually went to prison. I think the board.
No one's
down.
ever really held accountable.
No.
Because they're able to jump through hoops, and it's corporations, it's businesses, But someone made the decision and knew, and it's all about the money. I mean, we didn't really get an opioid crisis here, although we did get a little bit of it. But the thing that was the problem in the UK was codeine. And
Sorry, coding.
Codeine. Oh, codeine. It's a drug.
Codeine.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
Cocodamol would be the commercial name. Don't sue us. But like you used to be able to get headache tablets with codeine in it. But I used to know someone who was a manager for a pharmacy, high street pharmacy. There are others available. And he used to have a poster on his wall in his office of people he wasn't allowed to sell codeine to. And that was throughout the city of Belfast, and because it was so addictive. And the thing is, it shuts down your liver function. Anyway, it kills you the more you take. You can take it for like a month, and that's okay. But then after that, it starts damaging you. There was people who had been taking it for years. Yeah, So like the idea of just taking self-medication is a big deal, and the companies know this as an aspect. Now, it might be that they're like, if you're in extreme pain, like codeine really does help. If you can still get codeine medically. You can get a prescription to it, and it does stop a bit, like prolonged use, which is addictive. Prolonged use,
it is
really
addictive. Over-the-counter medication in the US is so good because it's so much stronger than here. Like the equivalent of Nurofen is like double the strength. So I always buy it when I'm over there. But the thing is, because it's so strong, but if you have access to that every single day, it's not really surprising that you get addicted to painkillers. Wasn't Chandler, Matthew?
Yeah, Matthew Perry. I actually,
was addicted.
I read his autobiography, and it's harrowing. Yeah. But his parents were giving him massively strong medication from a very young age. Like he had no hope. Like he had a hard life, even though he was Chandler Bing, and I love the Chandler Bing. But it was really sad, and that's what killed him.
Blank, any addiction to painkillers? Or are you okay with it?
I think I just take once last year.
Really?
Yeah.
What, ever?
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are literally the healthiest person I've ever met.
No,
Not
I
just
think,
the healthiest comedian.
I mean, in China, I'm sick as well, but we don't believe painkiller thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we believe herbs.
That's what we're getting at here.
I know, yeah.
So they know something we don't.
Yeah, like painkiller is like my first time tried it last year. And then I'm even not even sure whether it helps or I just recovered by myself. So yeah, that's very interesting.
But there must be something in it. If they're using more natural remedies than we do over here, there must be something in it.
Yeah, I think definitely helpful, but I just quite healthy, so just not a very good case to test it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. We should have got a more broken person on.
Yeah.
That's
Literally
interesting.
any other comedian we could have got on.
Yeah. Blank is literally the healthiest comedian we've ever met.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Stainslaw and the anti-neoplastin therapy. Dr. Stanislaw developed a controversial cancer treatment using anti-neoplastins, compounds derived from human urine and blood. Yeah, I know, put your tea down. While some patients reported positive outcomes, the FDA and other agencies attempted to shut down his practice multiple times. Supporters argue that his work was targeted because it threatened the profitability of traditional cancer treatments, while critics say his methods lacked sufficient scientific validation. Drink your own urine?
Well, there was that health movement in the 70s.
But there are people who still do that.
Well, with the early days of treatment for HIV and AIDS, one of the recommendations was and this is very early on, one of the recommendations was to drink your own urine because you would the medication you were peeing out, you could take back in, and it was actually more bioavailable that way. So that was definitely a treatment. But we're talking like the early 90s, you know. But
Would you? Okay, let's say it did work. Would you do it?
Yes.
Of course.
You would do it.
We're dying of if it's helpful, of course.
If it was that, or you could buy prescription medication, would you still do it? Bearing in mind that your own urine is free.
Well, I know someone who does do this for health benefits.
Really?
Yeah. They drink their own urine.
You know, like in China in the past, like in the Asian China, they have like kind of it's kind of similar to religion. They believe like the virgin boy. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, they pee in the pots outside the classroom? Yes.
Yeah, you know that, right?
Piss eggs, yes, yeah.
They believe like if you drink the little boy's urine will be helpful somehow.
Really?
To get
Yeah,
rid of the ghost.
Yeah, it gets collected outside the classroom.
Yeah.
Who drinks it?
And they cure
Old
eggs
man,
in
I
it.
guess.
Old men drink young boys' urine.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so much worse the way you say it.
I don't know how we've looped back to this. That is sinister.
Urine
man.
is-
Is that still a thing now?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
No, but in the past, like when there's no scientific way of when Westerner haven't entered China before, the Chinese medicine,
Wow.
they believe the young boy is very energetic, very like the yin and yang, very young. So
Yeah.
yeah,
They're picking up the young vibes.
yeah, and the ghost is very in vibe. So it's like kind of
What was the ghost?
just
Goes around.
yeah,
Any ghost.
yeah, any ghost.
Okay.
Yeah, if you feel you're being haunted,
Yeah.
drink some boy's pee.
And who haven't felt like we've been haunted?
Yeah.
And that's the message of this podcast. If you feel you're being haunted, drink a young boy's piss.
Oh, no, my God, no.
Wow.
And yet that won't be the thing that you should take us down for. So Anne Wigmore. In the 1970s and 80s, the conspiracy theories promoted by Anne Wigmore, who held that diseases, including cancer and HIV and AIDS, could be effectively treated with a raw food diet. In this context, Wigmore believed that the pharmaceutical industry was part of a conspiracy to keep the population at large ill. Wigmore believed that the most chronic diseases stem from poor nutrition and toxicity in the body. She emphasized that by consuming nutrient-rich, enzyme-active, raw plant foods, people could detoxify the systems, restore balance, and even reverse illness. So there's a lot of criticism for her. However, she did build quite a massive movement. Are you aware of this person?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're guessing you're not. No. I wasn't until I read this.
Didn't she die from starvation?
Really?
She died quite a lot later, but it doesn't actually say what she died from. Quite possibly, yeah.
I might have missed because any of those fad diets.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was nothing in it in terms of healthy living, but it was the idea that it was an alternative. It's a very dangerous thing to promote it as an alternative, particularly in the 80s at the height of the HIV crisis, to be saying, don't worry about meds, this will sort you out.
Yeah. No, that's not.
What do you mean by raw? Just uncooked food?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think raw meat, but I think definitely raw veg, right?
So you mean vegetarian don't get AIDS? Is that?
That's what we're saying. Like, yeah, vegetarians don't get AIDS.
Yeah.
Well, vegetarians that don't cook their food don't get
In
it.
fairness, you were brought up in a vegetarian house and you've never had AIDS.
It is true. I don't have AIDS.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a vegetarian?
No. I eat animal, but
But you were a vegetarian house growing up.
Yes, yeah. My father's vegetarian. My father was vegetarian in the 80s, which was just like he'll eat lamb, won't he? He'll eat chicken, won't he? No, he does not eat meat. No food with a face.
Yeah.
My dad's still vegetarian. Been vegetarian my whole life.
See.
You know,
No AIDS.
no AIDS.
Incredible. While many holistic health enthusiasts embrace Wigmore's theories, mainstream medicine remains skeptical, arguing that there is insufficient evidence to support some of her claims. However, her work has influenced modern raw food movements and alternative health practices. I mean, it's true to say there are raw health movements that carry on. People do believe that that's a healthy thing to do.
I love a good salad.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, I love Japanese food.
Excellent example.
Yeah. Better
true.
choice.
Love sushi.
She founded the Hippocrates Health Institute. Yep, that's its name, which continues to promote natural healing through plant-based nutrition. Her legacy lives on in the growing interest in holistic wellness, detoxification, and the raw food lifestyle. There's also a guy called Andre Picard who wrote in 2009 that the internet had radically changed the nature of popular scientific discourse from being infrequent and differential to widespread and conspiracy-based. Scientific debate was often supplanted by dismissal of science as being part of some vast conspiracy. The doctors, nurses, pharmacists, pharmacologists, biochemists, immunologists, genetics, and journalists are not to be trusted. They are all on the take, he says. Research in Italy in 2016 found that nearly half the adult population believed that pharmaceutical companies hinder the development of effective medications to heal serious diseases, which, according to the authors, is a conspiracy theory, and that such beliefs were negatively correlated to mainstream religion while having anti-science and anti-elitism bases. I mean, that's quite a lot of people to believe it. But then we've just said that we kind of believe that as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I do think the big pharma, it's profit before people, you know, like, and I mean, we live in a capitalist world. I get that. Mm-hmm. But the idea that there's no altruism is true, you know.
You don't think there's any altruism?
Not from big companies. Not from big companies,
no.
You know, I mean...
But surely that's what a regulatory body is for, though.
Yeah, but they get bought out. Like, there's something else going on in my life with the Prince Charles Cinema getting closed down. And I just, oh my God, doesn't anybody care about people? Mm-hmm. You know? So we need to cut that bit out. Sorry.
Capitalism in it.
Capitalism in it.
Yeah, let's go communism. That's the way. Only solution.
It's that young energy that will keep that momentum going.
Technically, I'm a socialist. Technically, that's where my political leanings are. But
yet you love a Starbucks.
I love a Starbucks, and I love buying things. I do. I love things.
We're all hypocrites.
Yes, I am a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Blank, you consumer?
Yeah, of course. But admit we are hypocrites openly, made our noble a little bit more.
Yeah. As long as you don't advertise on social media, it's fine. You promote socialist agenda or social media. Buy whatever the fuck you want in your private life.
I mean, like, we got to be good to each other, you know.
Yep. So there's a book called The Controversy of Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. Are you aware of this book?
No.
Okay, fine. So Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About is a best-selling book by Kevin Trudeau, published in 2005. The book claims that there are all natural cures for serious illnesses, including cancer, herpes, arthritis, AIDS, acid reflux disease, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, lupus, chronic fatigue syndrome, attention deficit disorder, muscular dystrophy. That's the one, dystrophy. And that these are all being deliberately hidden and suppressed from the public by the Food and Drug Administration, the Federal Trade Commission, and major food drug companies to maintain profits from prescription drugs. Trudeau argues that many of the diseases could be prevented and even cured through lifestyle changes, dietary adjustments, and natural treatments, but these alternatives are hidden from the public. So this book got a lot of traction when it came out, and it got to a point where something like 27% of the US believed this, so believed that these natural cures could cure particularly cancer and a lot of these diseases. Now, I wonder if that's actually tapping into... he was tapping into something. He was tapping into cynicism against Big Pharma in the first place. But still, that is a dangerous thing to be promoting.
Yeah, but that's a heck of a claim. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I things like diet and whatever can definitely help. There's I mean, one of the most recent things that I've seen on the internet is that all illnesses are because you've got a leaky digestive system, that that you're not digesting things properly, and all it goes through all these lists of things and go, oh, okay, but I mean, there's a grain of truth in that you have brain cells in your gut. Like, that gut feeling, that's literally part of your nervous system telling you something. So if you make that okay, it can make you healthier.
So is Yakult brain food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but so is having like onions. Like, onions is really good for your gut health.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's got sulfite in it, and it helps your internal flora.
Internal flow.
Flora,
Sorry.
your natural internal plant
okay.
life.
Got it.
Flora is not quite plants.
Internal flora is a very different thing.
Flora, not the margarine.
So, Black, would you say that your eating regime is quite healthy?
Not really. I'm living here.
Yeah.
You are a stand-up comedian.
You are a comedian, yeah. Is it generally sort of easy food, quick food? What's the
Yeah, I cook by myself. I'm trying to make it healthy, but I think it's definitely not that healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, the vegetables here are so expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And
Do you think your diet's got worse since you lived in London?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you might be needing some of these prescription drugs. Okay. So there were claims of the book saying pharmaceuticals suppress natural cures, the FDA and the medical industry are corrupt, diet and lifestyle can cure diseases, and government censorship of alternative medicine. But there was a lot of criticism on it. So there's a lack of scientific evidence. Critics argue that Trudeau provides little to no scientific backing for his claims. Many of the natural remedies he promotes have not been proven through effective or rigorous clinical trials. There were lots of legal actions and fraud convictions. He has a long history of legal troubles, including being convicted of fraud. In 2013, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison for misleading consumers with false advertising related to his weight loss program. Misinformation and potential harm. Health officials warn that some of the advice in the book could be dangerous, such as avoiding conventional medical treatments in favour of unproven alternatives. Have you watched, there's a program on Netflix called Apple Cider Vinegar, and it's about Belle Gibson. She was an Australian influencer who claimed to have stage 4 cancer and claimed to have recovered from it through healthy eating and juicing, essentially. And a load of people she wrote a book, and a load of people started following her, and actual people who actually had cancer were following her and following the diet and rejecting medical treatments on the basis of her success. And it was all just bullshit.
It was all
On Netflix.
on Netflix.
A proper documentary.
No, it's a dramatization.
A
But she's a real person. Yeah. She is a real
Wow.
influencer. It's a dramatization of what actually happened, but she did actually mislead hundreds of people.
So it's not only the evil big farmers, also big evil media.
Influencers.
Yeah.
It's just Instagram.
Netflix,
You
yeah.
can't trust Instagram.
Wow.
snake oil.
Yeah.
That's it's always been the case.
There's a 60 Minutes a 60 Minutes interview with her. It's really worth watching. She can't even straight answer the question, how old are you? She's like,
I can relate to that.
Yeah. She's like, well, I believe I'm 26.
Oh my, I've seen that clip.
Yeah.
What?
And the interviewer's like, but how old are you, Belle? She's like, I'm 26. She's like, but you're 23. No, I believe I'm 26.
I swear to God, I thought that was from a sitcom or something, like a comedy.
It's a real interview.
She sounds very professional.
She is very professional, yeah.
If she's like the Chinese spokesman, it's like that's how I feel. Like, yeah.
I have to say, it is an art to how well she lies. Like, she's so calm as well. Like, she doesn't she just she must believe the narrative so intensely. But the thing is, there's nothing regulating people like that going onto Instagram and making claims like that, right?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I want to defend apple cider vinegar with the mother because it does have health benefits, but it doesn't cure cancer.
No.
Agree.
No.
Despite the controversy, the book became a bestseller, reflecting widespread skepticism about the pharmaceutical industry and mainstream medicine. Many readers resonated with Trudeau's anti-establishment rhetoric, believing that natural cures are indeed being hidden. So there's quite a few other cases. AIDS in the 1980s. One conspiracy claims that AIDS was created by the US government to control and or wipe out the gays and African Americans. Also, there is a cure for HIV/AIDS that is withheld from the poor, they say. Other theories say that although the virus is harmful, the risks of antiviral drugs outweigh the benefits. The drugs are said to be toxins that spread by doctors who have corrupted the pharmaceutical industry. There was even a president of South Africa who was influenced by AIDS denier Peter Duesberg, introduced policies that denied treatments to AIDS patients. According to estimates, this led to, among other things, more than 300,000 people dying.
Yeah.
So that's how far it could go. Like that's how, like if you've got enough influence.
Yeah, well,
Do you remember that?
The whole AIDS crisis was a particular kind of nightmare, but there was an argument against some of the treatments as well that were more lethal than the AIDS itself. Although AIDS is the terminal situation. I mean, I'm so glad that we're looking in the rearview mirror at this now. You know, like you know my stand-up set. I've got a joke about it, but like even 5 years ago, that wouldn't have been okay. I'm just glad that. Like if you're HIV positive, your health outcome is better than if you've got diabetes. Like that's just the truth of it. It's so in control. There's antivirals. There's PrEP. There's all these things that can manage it. And I'm glad that the AIDS crisis is over. But there were a lot of missteps and there was a lot of ignorance around it. You know, in the UK, we were actually okay. We had a campaign in the 80s called Don't Die of Ignorance. And as a 7-year-old boy, I knew more about AIDS because I read the pamphlet than anyone else. It was really weird because I wasn't sexually aware. But I was like,
you knew about AIDS?
Yeah, I did. Because I knew I was gay and I knew. I also lived my whole life thinking that's how I was going to die.
Yeah.
So
remember the adverts?
Oh my God! But I mean, it has cast a broad shadow over my life. So yes, I remember AIDS. I remember full blown AIDS. I remember AIDS.
And dickheads like this not really helping the situation.
No, but it was something that because it was only the dirty, filthy gays that were getting it.
Yeah.
You know, God's punishment. You know, and.
Yep. There is a recurring conspiracy theory that a pharmaceutical industry has a cure for cancer, but it suppresses it so that they continue to make millions off the ineffective treatments currently given to cancer patients. This was believed by 27% of the American public, according to a 2005 survey. So this is apparently a lot higher now. And it's partly as a result of influences in these books and the general anti-government, anti-establishment challenges. Other conspiracy theories suggest that vaccines are implanting microchips and thought control. Among others, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has been accused of wanting to microchip the world's population through global vaccination programs. You be microchipped, like?
Yeah, because it's really funny because I know the meaning of microchips, but my English is my second language. So when I heard microchip, I was thinking like literally. I just feel sounds delicious. Yeah, of course, you're British. You love fish and chips so much. Microchips in your blood.
We don't like microchips.
Oh yeah.
We like big, thick chips.
Oh wow. In your sexual way.
Yeah, yeah. I think
made in beef dripping.
Yeah,
Proper chips made in beef dripping.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Just sounds so delicious. So I just control my laugh from laughing when
how you fan of fish and chips?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's so junky food, of
Junky
course.
food, yes, yeah.
So good.
It is so good.
I love good fish and chips.
What's like in China? What is junk food?
McDonald's.
Oh really?
Yeah, fried chicken. Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
so the same sort of shit. Basically.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Do you believe that Bill Gates microchipped you with a vaccine?
I don't think the technology is at that level yet.
Okay. What do
Yeah.
you think? You're on the fence on this, aren't you?
Bill Gates gives me the creeps.
He's a creepy man.
He's a creepy man, and I don't think he talked about the next pandemic before that we were done with this pandemic.
Yeah.
So I don't like Bill Gates.
So the theory that health authorities were deliberately trying to hide natural cures is a complex and controversial topic. While natural motives do play a role in the pharmaceutical industry, there is no conclusive evidence to suggest that governments and health organizations are systematically suppressing effective natural treatments. The ultimate goal should be that to ensure that all these potential cures, whether natural or pharmaceutical, are thoroughly tested and made accessible to the public based on sound scientific evidence.
Or we'll send Luigi after you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Luigi will persuade you of anything.
I think he'll persuade any of us of anything. I think he's going to get off.
Would he persuade you?
Nothing. I don't care.
You think he's going to get off?
Yeah.
What?
I don't think it was him that did. I don't think it was him that did the
did it
assassination.
then?
I think it's someone else entirely. Like, it just doesn't add up.
Okay, that's a whole different episode
Yeah,
of the podcast. Blank, are health authorities hiding natural cures?
Yeah.
Great, that's the message you want to send, David.
I think so. Yeah. They're holding the back. Because a sick population is a population that's always going to give them money.
Okay, so do we think that they're doing this for non-fatal diseases, but for fatal diseases they're not doing this?
Yeah, I
That's
think
your theory.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, but even then, it depends on who is sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like print. I was going to say more there, but we're at the end of the episode. So
Fine. Okay. So we're in agreement that they do a little bit, but not for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Big Pharma's bad.
Well, that's solved then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bad.
I think we're saying something really controversial. Big Pharma, boo.
Yeah. We're sending this to the FDA. Blank, would you like to look into this camera and tell people where they can find you, follow you, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, you can find me at the Wood Green. No.
You don't want people stalking you,
Of
Blank?
course, no, I don't live in Wood Green. I live in Finsbury Park. So
Okay.
No. You can find me on all the social media at Blank Peng 404.
Excellent. And you're doing a show in London in March?
Yeah, March 18 in Top Secret Comedy Club. Yeah, just £1, very cheap. I don't think many people listen to this podcast will come, but thank you very much for having me.
If you're in London, you should come. Blank Peng is a great comedian.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You should
Like,
definitely
slightly scary. I didn't realize her scary.
With massive hair.
Would you like a Bill Gates joke to end the podcast?
Ooh, yes.
Okay. Why did Bill Gates make COVID vaccine free? Because he knew the real money was in the updates.
Terrible joke.
No?
I don't get it.
Okay. That's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.
If you like the podcast and fancy extra episodes and early access every week, why not join our Patreon? Just £5 a month and you'll be helping support the pod. Remember, we love you. Bye.